If I had to describe Image in one word, that word would be life-changing, and that has a hyphen in it, which I think technically makes that one word.
I think I would go with infinite.
Pugnacious.
Original.
I would say diverse.
Freedom.
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 Freedom. Freedom?
Freedom! There had never been a concerted effort by a group of creators before. The fact that 7 guys all at the same time came together to form their own creator-owned comics company was unheard of up to that point.
They basically said Marvel we were leaving. They went over to DC and said, we're not going to come work here either. We want our fair take. And then they started Image Comics.
The 7 hottest creators in an industry going, hey, we're going to do our own thing. It was an atomic bomb that sent waves through the entire industry.
Marvel Entertainment fell 3 1/4 today, closing at 49 1/2. 8 artists are jumping ship for a competitor. Some investors did the same.
Terry Stewart, the guy who was running Marvel at the time, had made a public statement saying that creators were interchangeable and didn't really matter. What we were saying was that creators do matter, and that creators need to be treated well.
Those guys wanted to change the business, and they did, big time. Now, the rest of us who've come after have the opportunity to change the medium.
I was kind of raised by Marvel and DC. I always talk about them that it felt like they were my divorced parents, and I'd spend some time living at Mom's house, and then I'd jump over to Dad's house. I'd been under their roof for so many years, it was finally time to kind of leave and maybe go away to college. And Image Comics felt like going away to college.
One of the things that we've shown over the last several years, when you let people do the kind of work they want to do, that something special happens.
I know that when I sit down to write something and I know that the sky is the limit, my imagination just kind of explodes into all directions.
You can make your comic books exactly how you want to make them and get them into the world. That puts the power in my hands, and in the end, that's where you want the power, in the creator's hands.
If you decide tomorrow you want to kill your entire cast for some dramatic purpose, you absolutely can. No one can stop you or tell you otherwise or suggest that that's a terrible idea.
I remember a creator who created a character over at DC being told by an editor, that character wouldn't do that. That doesn't happen here. And that's not ever going to happen here.
I think at a lot of the bigger companies, you have editors who kind of dictate what the writers and artists are doing, and there's a lot of micromanagement of talent.
Anytime I've ever asked Eric about anything, I was like, well, how do I, and he was like, it's your book. What do you want? Do you want ads in your book? If you don't, there's no ads in your book. You just say, oh, this is what I would like. And they say, it's your book, okay.
We can do as much or as little as each individual wants. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to comics.
We set Image Comics up to be the kind of company that we would want to work for. And Image Comics itself owns nothing.
There are publishers in comics who claim to be doing creator-owned comics, but unless the creator has 100% ownership of that property, it's not creator-owned. Whether you're talking about comics, movies, TV, toys, video games, all of it is owned by the creator and controlled by the creator.
When the creator wants to publish a comic, Image Comics is there for you. When that creation wants to go live in other media, Image Comics is like, hey, have a good time.
There are a lot of deals in the industry that are referred to as creator-owned properties. Not one of them can compete with Image.
Image has the best deal in town, period. Like it is true creator-owned comics. You control everything top to bottom.
There is no corporate structure with a guy at the top of the pyramid trying to maneuver things in order to increase his income. Every other company is designed that way.
You go to Marvel and you get your page rate, and you're always questioning, are you worth your page rate? And then when you go to Image, you learn you're gonna make a hell of a lot more money having a creator-owned project than you are working for a large corporation.
It's not a job, it's 100% art. And the fact that Fiona and I get to own it outright, and then financially prosper from it is just gravy.
Their deal is amazingly slanted towards the creators because the company was created by creators. When you try to explain it to people, it doesn't compute. Like it's not capitalism or something because all the money is going to the people who do the work.
This company continues to thrive over 2 decades after its formation is a living testament to the vision of its founders. They created something truly special when they banded together some 22 years ago. But then, and for every year since, Image Comics has operated on one key principle. The creator owns 100% of their work.
The beautiful thing about Image now is that retailers and fans are supporting the books at healthy numbers, and you don't necessarily have to be that superstar creator to make that jump now.
I used to be something of a pessimist, especially after fighting out the creator-owned battle for a decade, and it just didn't seem like it was crackable. And now, people are selling out of 50,000 copy print runs of trade paperbacks.
You can find a long list of creators that will tell you, my life was like this, I did books at Image, now my life is like this.
That Image is kind of on such a roll now that even the most outlandish shit that you put out there has a chance to find an audience.
I think that Image has a readership that is excited by that kind of risk-taking.
Matt Fraction doing Sex Criminals or Kelly Sue doing Bitch Planet. Those are the kind of comics that 10 years ago people would tell their friends in bars, but they'd be like, but no one would ever publish that.
The breadth of material now is so vast. You've got an educational children's comic at the same publisher as The Walking Dead. That just says a lot in terms of what they're doing now and where they're going.
As much as you may love Spider-Man and want to work on Spider-Man, Spider-Man will never be yours. You can play with the toys, you can't break the toys. We can make our own toys and tell our own stories and go off in wildly different directions, and we have.
From a business perspective, it's the best deal you're going to get, hands down. But from a creative perspective, the sky's the limit.
All of us, I think, are stepping off of an assembly line in some ways to try to do something that's more of a passion project or something we really care about.
There is no rarefied air. Everybody can come here and everybody can succeed.
What everybody at Image would like to see 5 or 10 years from now is Image being the #1 publisher of comics in the United States. The way you get there is you continue doing new ideas, supporting new creativity, and trying to put out the best books that we absolutely can.
In an ideal world, we would just suck in all the talent and everybody would be doing their own books, and I think the world would be a better place for it. So really that's what I'm after.